things are horrible. I get it. I understand. Thank you. Yes, you, for joining me today here in Ron's Basement from wherever you may be in the world. I'm sure things are horrible, but you're always welcome here in Ron's Basement. Today, we want to talk about survival. How are we surviving now and in the future if and when the economy gets worse, the market gets worse, gold and silver get worse. Heck, the mining stocks have already gone through a depression. How are we surviving and how can we survive in the future? Can we do it? I think we can. I think there's things that we can control to survive the impending economic calamity that very well may happen. And it doesn't hurt to be prepared or have an idea about certain things that we could do if and when that situation arises. I've got some basic, easy, and fun ways that we can cope with the situation that we face. I want to share that with you in this video, and maybe a glimpse into my personal life, a couple small stories about what I'm doing now and what I plan on doing in the future. But I want to hear from you. What are you doing? Wherever you are, how are you preparing? How are you making moves to be in control, to protect your family, to provide safety and security and survival? Let's get started right now. The first thing we can do is maximize our revenue in our job, in our business. Specialists get paid. Work hard at developing your skills, whatever they may be, because in the end, we all do things for each other, and people with specialized skills or who are very good at their trade can command a higher salary. So if things get crappy, it doesn't matter. People will still need each other. And the stronger your skills are, the more value you provide to your customers if you own a business, or to your employer if you have a job, the more likely you will have a higher revenue stream. Now, the other thing you can consider doing, starting a small business, having a side hustle, whatever the case may be. I work a full-time job in the evening, so during the day when my daughters are at school, I'm free. I have worked very, very hard, believe it or not, to develop this YouTube channel to provide value to you, my viewers. And that's what I continue to work on every single day to get better every day and provide more and more value. The next thing we need to look at are your expenses, your cash outflow. And I guarantee there are a plethora of opportunities to save money in terms of where you're spending your funds on a monthly basis. Food, right? If you go out to eat twice a week, cut back to once a week if you have to. If you look at that on an annual basis, saving maybe $100 a week, that's $5,000. Heck, last Sunday, I barbecued, 15 hamburgers and 8 chicken breasts. And as I was carrying that tray of meat into the house, knowing that that was enough meat for my family to eat maybe 4 or 5 meals, I realized I'd only spent $20 on all that meat. And if I'd gone to a restaurant and acquired that much food, that would have been at least 6 or 7 times more expensive. And it's time for us to pick up a wrench and start fixing things around our house. You know what it costs to have a repairman come to work on your washing machine or your refrigerator, have somebody cut your grass or trim your bushes. All those expenses add up super quickly, and there's a lot of things we can do for ourselves. Last week, I put a new radiator fan in our 2005 Acura TSX. I bought a brand new fan on Amazon for $100. It took me 2 hours to do the job. When I was done, I called the local Acura dealership. They said it would have cost $1,200 for me to bring the car in and have them do it. And I still would have spent 2 hours by the time I got it there, probably more time than I spent just doing it myself and saving $1,000. And hey, think about it. I'd had to have earned $1,500 working paid taxes on the $1,500 just to have the $1,000 to spend to hire them to do it. It pays to do things on our own. You're paying yourself and your family and providing more resources for your family when you do things for yourself. And what about our general housing cost? We could all live in a smaller space if we needed to. Almost all of us, that is. I mean, look at me. I'm hanging out in this luxurious basement, but I really only need about a quarter of this basement to be happy. My mom grew up with 5 siblings, 6 kids, and a 1,000 square foot house. They were all very happy and have all grown up to be very successful, content people. We don't necessarily need all the extra space that we have. Sure, it's nice, but if times get tough, realize we could always cut back on our housing costs. Now, let's talk about transportation, because I got a bone to pick with you. Like I said earlier, I drive a 2005 Acura TSX, the Black Hawk 1, as it's known. We've had it since it was brand new. It has 100,000 miles on it. It's been a great, great car, right? Everybody else always is buying these new cars. I mean, new cars now, a nice new car costs $60 or $70 or $50 or $80,000. It's ridiculous. And guess what? You get in the car, you start the motor, and it drives you where you need to be. Just like my 17-year-old Acura TSX. And I'm just as happy when I get there. Sure, go buy yourself a shiny red ball, brand new car, pay all the taxes on it, pay the higher insurance. It's much more expensive, right? And a month later, all it is to you is transportation. So there's opportunities for people to cut back on their transportation costs. And what about entertainment and fun? People spend a ton of money trying to convince themselves that they're having fun. There are so many opportunities for free fun. Board games with your family. Go play tennis in a park with a friend. Go for a hike. Go camping. Go to a free concert from your local municipality. I'm not saying not to spend any money on fun, but there are an unbelievable number of free fun options out there that you could explore if you needed to. And I've even got a double bonus for you. If you like to garden, grow yourself a garden. You'll have, number 1, fun when you're gardening. Number 2, you'll be saving money, because if you've been to the grocery store lately and seen what they charge for produce, we've got a lot more interesting things to talk about. But don't forget, bring some of those vegetables you grow in that garden over here to Ron's basement. I get hungry from time to time, not to mention the bear. Hey, I appreciate you being here in Ron's basement. You, yes, you watching right now with me are very important. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. You can share this video with anyone you like. And don't forget, turn on those bell notifications. And I almost forgot, like I talked about in the beginning of this video, share something, please, in the comment section below. That's the only way I can learn. My brain is tapped out. It can't think of anything new. So I got to learn from you. And so do the other people that come to Ron's basement. And I know you love to talk about financial matters. So let's move back to that. Debt. If you can, get yourself out of debt, any and all debt, as soon as possible. That will help you eliminate your monthly expenses and will give you some freedom, right? If you're in debt, you're basically a slave. There's no other way to say it. You owe somebody and you owe them a lot of work. Get yourself out of debt. If you can get your house paid off and then build up a cash balance, then you can do things like invest in precious metal mining stocks where you can lose 50% of your value over 6 months, but still be okay. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened to me. My precious metal mining stock portfolio is down 50%, 40%, 55%. I don't even care to look at the numbers. However, we don't have any debt. We do have a cash or cash equivalent, bank accounts, money market account balance that could provide for several years of living expenses. And the money on top of that, I invested in the precious metal mining stocks. Now, that hasn't gone well. That has gone about as bad as I could have expected, but it's not a tragedy for my family. Now, if I'd had a mortgage and no money and credit card debt, and I'd invested a bunch of money into those stocks, any stocks, and they go down in value, that can be catastrophic. So if you pay off all your debt, build a solid financial foundation from which you can take some risk. You'll be okay no matter what. You always have to plan for the worst. That's called the Carrier method. The guy that started the Carrier air conditioning method always said that he would plan for the worst case scenario to happen, make sure that if that did occur, he would be okay. And usually it didn't happen, right? Well, it did happen for those of us who invested in the mining stocks over the last year, 6 months, whenever. But if we are coming at things from a strong base, we are okay. And that brings me to my final thing that you can do, that you can control regarding these tough economic times we might be facing. That's your mental health, your perspective on things. Try to remain positive. Try to remain upbeat. It does no good to be down and depressed all the time. Look, everybody deals with it. Everybody, me included. You may look at me in my basement and think, oh, he's so happy and positive all the time. Wrong. I deal with challenges, frustrations, even a bit of anxiety and depression from time to time. But I do what I need to do to keep my attitude positive and to take actions. Make a video every day so I can connect with people like you from all over the world. Look, take care of yourself. Take care of your family. I will always be here for you through it all. I intend every day when I wake up to make a video so that we can connect, we can navigate these choppy waters together. There are things we can do. There are actions we can take. We will face challenges, but we will get through it. I'll see you next time.